In the machinery of the British state, family is always secondary to the institution. A royal birth is rarely a private joy. It is a data point in the ledger of succession and legitimacy. Princess Eugenie's recent milestone could have remained a quiet, personal announcement. Instead, King Charles chose to transform it into a deliberate act of statecraft. By issuing the news directly through Buckingham Palace, the monarch exercised his supreme prerogative to define the boundaries of the inner circle. The British monarchy is not merely a union of blood relatives. It is a strictly regulated corporation where public recognition is a currency granted exclusively by the sovereign. In a system where every gesture carries political weight, the king's patronage serves as the only shield against institutional oblivion. The king has signaled a vital distinction. The failures of the father do not constitute a hereditary sentence for the daughters. By providing his official seal, Charles has effectively vetoed any attempt by internal factions to subject the York sisters to total social exile. It is a move designed to stabilize the dynasty during a period of contraction. The message is clear. The sovereign alone determines where a legacy ends and where the future begins. The crown does not forgive debts. It simply protects its assets. Monday, May 4, 2026. Buckingham Palace issued a formal communiqué confirming that Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank are expecting their third child. In the House of Windsor, timing is a calibrated instrument. By administrative design, a private anniversary was transformed into a formal act of state. The official statement noted that His Majesty the King has been informed and the family is delighted. In the lexicon of the court, these are not mere pleasantries. This phrasing constitutes a functional grant of legitimacy. It is the sovereign's personal signature on a new entry in the family ledger. The visual strategy was equally deliberate. The palace released a photograph of the couple's sons, August and Ernest, holding a sonogram. By centering the children, the narrative pivots. The focus shifts from the institutional friction of the parents' generation to the tangible reality of the future. This image serves as a visual record of dynastic expansion. It is a calculated move to stabilize the York branch within the broader framework of the monarchy. To the casual observer, this is a domestic update shared on social media. To the historian, it is the formal registration of a new link in the chain of succession. The record is updated, the institution moves forward. While the sovereign has extended a public hand, the Prince and Princess of Wales have maintained a precise, total silence. Following the announcement on May 4, 2026, the official digital records of Kensington Palace remained void of the customary congratulatory notes. This is not a clerical oversight. In the machinery of the modern court, silence is a calculated instrument. It is the protocol of strategic distance. The prince and princess are navigating a fundamental institutional paradox. They must balance private kinship against the public necessity of protecting the integrity of the direct line. By withholding a public endorsement, William is exercising rigorous risk management. He is ensuring his office remains insulated from the social and political volatility associated with the York household. In royal diplomacy, a public absence is the most expensive form of signaling. The heir has effectively relegated the York sisters to the sole jurisdiction of the king. This allows the future of the monarchy to remain separate from the rehabilitative efforts of the present. It is a necessary, if sterile, calculation. In the politics of succession, the prince protects the throne. The House of Windsor operates through calculated repetition. King Charles is currently employing a defensive maneuver perfected by Queen Victoria. In the 19th century, Victoria realized a nursery filled with heirs was the most effective shield against political friction. She transformed domestic milestones into strategic buffers for the institution. A royal birth is rarely just a headline. It is a fortification. Each new arrival acts as a structural brick in the wall of succession, reinforcing a foundation that might otherwise appear weathered by the failings of the previous generation. This highlights the central paradox of the current reign. The king is pursuing a streamlined, efficient core. Yet, he understands the necessity of a broad biological base. In the architecture of statecraft, the wider the foundation of the pyramid, the more stable the summit remains. The York children represent that essential breadth. The dynasty does not survive through the temporary preservation of its reputation. It survives through the relentless continuity of its presence. The crown prioritizes biological fact over social perception. It is a cold, mathematical reality. By welcoming a third child into the York line, the king is ensuring the institution has depth. He is building a reserve of legitimacy that the Prince of Wales may one day require. In the machinery of the British state, legacy is a numbers game. The more names in the ledger, the harder it is for the system to fail. The record is updated. The institution endures. The survival of the institution often requires the surgical sacrifice of the individual. In November 2025, the king executed a final administrative erasure. His Royal Highness style and the historic Dukedom of York were formally revoked. In the ledger of the state, the man formerly known as the king's brother ceased to exist. He became simply Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. The crisis transitioned from institutional exile to criminal reality in February 2026. Following the unsealing of the Epstein archives, the arrest of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor fundamentally altered the monarchy's legal landscape. For Princesses Beatrice and Eugenie, this represents a unique constitutional burden. They are the living bridge between a disgraced past and an institutional future. It is an exercise in structural resilience. Every milestone in the York line is now a calculated counterweight to a judicial record. The nursery must provide the legitimacy that the father forfeited. In the House of Windsor, the ledger must always balance. One branch is pruned so the crown may endure. The record is adjusted. The institution remains. The ledger expands once more. Upon birth, this child will occupy the 15th position in the line of succession. It is a clinical, mathematical adjustment with significant institutional consequences. Prince Edward, the Duke of Edinburgh, moves to the 16th spot. This highlights a fundamental irony within the House of Windsor. The York branch remains biologically resilient, even as its patriarch faces total administrative erasure. The events of May 2026 served as the ultimate stress test for the narrative of a unified crown. King Charles has demonstrated that the institution is entirely distinct from the individual. He has chosen to honor the bloodline while ruthlessly isolating the liability. In the cold logic of statecraft, this child is a structural asset. The nursery now provides the legitimacy that the York name had nearly forfeited. The crown prioritizes continuity over sentiment every time. The record is updated. The succession is secured. The king's pragmatism ensures the survival of a 1,000-year-old office. Your perspective on this institutional shift is vital to the historical record. Share your thoughts in the comments. To maintain access to these analytical briefings, ensure you have joined our archive and enabled notifications.